the batteries and the whole upstream supply chain there creates new opportunity, a new opportunity for workers and for labor. So that whole battery supply chain that I was just talking about, it's referred now, often as the battery belt, from Michigan down to Georgia. We're seeing this investment in the manufacturing and the processing and these upstream components as well. Taken together, that creates real new opportunities for American workers, American labor. I think it's one of the reasons why these things aren't easy, but you've seen even the UAW come around and recognize that this is the future of the industry, and the opportunity is to effectively organize that whole value chain. And they're seeing more opportunity than threat from that.
I'm happy to say that Brian is going to be staying with us as we turn to what this fall's presidential election could mean for the U.S. economy. That's next on Wall Street Week on Bloomberg.
World markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. This is Bloomberg 1130. Now, a global news update.
President Biden has signed the bill to keep the federal government funded for the rest of the fiscal year. Earlier today, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer praised colleagues for passing the $1.2 trillion package.
These past few months have shown yet again that when bipartisan has room to work, we can get the job done.
The Senate approved the legislation by a 74-24 vote around 2 a.m. Eastern Saturday, about 2 hours after shutdown deadline. The package includes funding for the Departments of Defense, Homeland Security, Labor, Health, and Human Services, as well as general government operations. The federal government is now fully funded through September 30th. Russian President Vladimir Putin is blaming Ukraine for playing a role in a deadly attack on a concert hall in Moscow. In a televised speech today, Putin said all 4 perpetrators of Friday's terrorist attack were found and detained while trying to hide and move towards Ukraine. Russian officials have said all 11 people suspected of involvement in the attack are in custody. Ukraine and U.S. officials have denied any involvement. That's the latest. I'm Dina Kodiak. And I'm Denise Pellegrini in the Bloomberg Newsroom. President Biden, as they've been reporting, signing a $1.2 trillion package of spending bills after Congress passed the long overdue legislation just hours earlier. This ends the threat of a partial government shutdown. The White House says Biden signed the legislation at home in Wilmington, Delaware, where he's spending the weekend. It had cleared the Senate by a 74-24 vote shortly after funding expired for the agencies at midnight. But the White House had sent out a notice shortly after the deadline announcing that the Office of Management and Budget had ceased shutdown preparations because there was a high degree of confidence Congress would pass that legislation and the President would sign it Saturday. And as I mentioned, the President has now signed that bill into law, averting a partial government shutdown. Russian President Vladimir Putin mentioning Ukraine, as we've been reporting, as related to yesterday's deadly terror attack in suburban Moscow. Putin says suspects in the worst terror attack in Moscow for more than 2 decades were captured while trying to flee to Ukraine. As his officials raised the death toll from the attack to more than 130 now. And Bloomberg's Anthony Halpin says the attack has Russian officials reeling.
And certainly caused a huge resonance contest after the presidential election. Putin won from 87% of the vote and presented himself very much as the guarantor of Russian security. So this is a big political question now in Europe.
Bloomberg supporter Tony Halpin there. Ukraine, meantime, has denied any role in the attack. It's calling the attack a false flag operation by the Kremlin. Islamic State earlier claimed responsibility in a telegram message and posted a photograph of 4 men it said carried out the attack. China's President Xi Jinping planning to meet with a number of U.S. business chiefs next week in conjunction with an annual forum in Beijing. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Bloomberg's Karen Moscow has more.
According to the Wall Street Journal, the list of participants for the Wednesday meeting with Xi are Stephen Orlins, head of the National Committee on U.S.-China Relations, Craig Allen, president of the U.S.-China Business Council, and Evan Greenberg, chief executive of the insurer Chubb. The list is still being compiled, and the sit-down could still be canceled. The session would follow the 2-day China Development Forum, an annual confab that's set to start tomorrow. Karen Moscow, Bloomberg Radio.
Thank you, Karen. And we're hearing Apple is winding down a long-running project to design and develop its own smartwatch displays. Global news 24 hours a day and whenever you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini, and this is Bloomberg.
Now your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
A flood watch and wind advisory both in effect until 2 a.m. Sunday. For tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, rain ending this evening, lows of 30.
Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, breezy, high near 50. Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, high 50 to 55. Tuesday, skies turn partly to mostly cloudy with a high of 50 to 55 degrees. That's your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 11:30.
Take a not-so-random walk through hot topics in markets and finance.
The case of the counterfeit commodities collateral.
Tough times in the offshore wind sector. The Odd Lots Podcast with Joe Weisenthal and Tracy Alloway.
How does machine learning actually work?
Listen on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app. And anywhere you get your podcast.
We're leaning into the sort of 90s Nickelodeon SpongeBob vibe, maybe?
Bloomberg. Content changes everything.
At Oppenheimer, we focus the power of our thinking on you, creating customized plans to help achieve your goals. The power of Oppenheimer thinking is boundless and original, listening more closely and investing with the confidence of over a century of experience, creating new opportunities that rely on innovation, preserving capital, and come from deep insights. Put the power of Oppenheimer thinking into your investing. Call an Oppenheimer professional.
Why just listen to Bloomberg Surveillance when you can also watch us live on YouTube? I'm Lisa Mateo.
And I'm Tom Keene. Join us weekday mornings along with Paul Sweet and Michael Barr starting at 7 a.m.
Head to the Bloomberg podcast page on YouTube to hear and see the smartest voices on global markets and investment.
Make Bloomberg Surveillance an essential part of your morning routine weekdays from 7 to 10.
Visit the Bloomberg podcast page on YouTube and click on the live feed to join us today.
Is your real estate business facing challenging debt obligations? You're not alone. Real estate firms are currently facing expiring debt, high interest rates, and low valuations. For more than 100 years, partner-owned Anshin Accountants and Advisors has provided exceptional service to real estate companies, helping owners and developers refinance their debt and structure favorable tax deals. Don't let debt obligations hold your real estate firm back. Partner with Anshin to unlock the full potential of your assets. Visit Anshin.com to learn more.
What could you do if your data was working for you and not against you? With Bloomberg delivering enterprise data directly to your systems, you get easy access to the details you want, optimized for higher level analysis, and financial data experts committed to helping you maximize your every move. Our data is made for more, so you can show the world what you're made of. Visit Bloomberg.com/enterprise data to learn more.
To address our new climate reality, the world needs radical solutions. Collaborate for a greener future at the Bloomberg Green Festival, a groundbreaking celebration of the thinkers, doers, and innovators leading the way. From design and culture to technology, science, and entertainment, hear from inspirational speakers and immerse yourself in climate solutions. July 10th through 13th in Seattle. Title sponsor, Amazon. Get 20% off using promo code Radio20 at BloombergLive.com/Green Festival.
Hey, Paul, what's the best way to gain Bloomberg intelligence?
Listening to us.
Exactly. And now that's a whole lot easier with the new Bloomberg Business app now featuring Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
It's more than just live radio, too. You get podcasts on demand, audio versions of your favorite Bloomberg stories, plus news at the click of a button.
And it's simple to use. Just download the free Bloomberg Business app and connect your phone to your car.
The Bloomberg Business app, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto features.
Download it free in the Apple App Store or on Google Play.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. For years, she was the face and voice of Weight Watchers.
I love bread.
Now, Oprah Winfrey's saying more about why she stepped away from the board of a health and wellness brand and turned to weight loss drugs.
Because you think I'm smart enough to figure this out, and then to hear, all along, it's you fighting your brain.
Oprah gave a shot in the arm to Wegovy and Zepbound on this ABC primetime special. She didn't say which one she's been using, but Bloomberg healthcare reporter Madison Muller says the Oprah endorsement will be even more of a boon to all GLP-1s.
She's had a great experience with them, so she says, and that's sort of what the program was centered around.
One thing it wasn't centered on, though, was the side effects. Mueller says that carries a risk for the companies and Oprah, given the history of safety issues for weight loss medication.
The bar for safety with these drugs is really high, and that's something to just be really cognizant of.
Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
Now, a sports update on Bloomberg 1130.
At the NCAA tournament, UConn, coming off Friday's win over Stetson, advances to the second round, where will battle Northwestern Sunday. Yale's win over Auburn is the Bulldogs' second in NCAA tournament history. They'll face number 5 San Diego State in the second round Sunday. At the Garden, Lennox over the Nets 105-93. The Islanders lead the Jets 6-2 in the third. The Rangers face the Panthers tonight at the Garden. The Devils host Ottawa. That's the Bloomberg Sports Update. I'm Joel Stern.
This is the Bloomberg Green Report, sponsored by ProgressiveCommercial.com, where you can get a business insurance quote in as little as 6 minutes. Breathable air is essential to life, yet a new analysis says only 10 countries and 9% of global cities had air quality that met World Health Organization guidelines for harmful fine particle pollution in 2023. The Swiss air quality company IQ Air says some